to the next episode of Discipline, Desire, and Dedication. My name is Dakota Lang, along co-host Garrett Cotton. Thank you for watching in today. We have a special guest, Mr. Jake Richards. Four-time Golden Door winner, bro? Four-time Golden Door winner. So that's absolutely incredible.
That's not in 4 years, though, right? 3 years.
3 years.
4 Golden Doors.
1, 2, 1.
Yep. 2 in 1 year. Well, how much did you do that?
4.4.
4.4. Yeah, that's absolutely incredible, bro.
Thank you.
Let's kind of just jump into your story. You know, I know we kind of know a little bit of your background, but let's kind of get like into the gritty of it. You know, you're from. Where are you from?
I was born in Salt Lake City when I was born, and then we moved to Arizona when I was 4.
Okay.
So I'm from there.
Okay.
I'm from Phoenix.
Okay, from Phoenix.
I tell people that, yeah.
Tell people you're from.
I wasn't there. I was only in Utah when I was like a baby.
Yeah. So you went into Phoenix. What was kind of like your childhood? You know, was your parents like a middle class working people?
Yeah, I mean, we were like not bad off.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a ton of money.
Yeah.
I was an only child, so I don't have any siblings, so just me. Sports was mostly what my life was like as a kid.
Okay.
All sports. So school, I was okay at. I had a knack for it, but I was one of those kids that you never needed to study and just did okay.
Yeah.
Never did great, but I was just fine.
Always got by.
I always got by,
Yeah.
but sports is where my kind of passions were until I obviously graduated high school and moved on. But, I mean, yeah, I had.
What was your favorite sport growing up?
Baseball.
Baseball?
I played that for about 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You played all the way, I guess, through Little League all the way up to
Yeah, so I played Little League.
What?
And then once you get up to high school, I played club and high school. So I played on 2 teams. And then after high school, I had a club team that was technically a collegiate level club team. It just wasn't for a college.
Right.
In baseball, you can kind of go 2 ways. You can go club or school.
Is club like a tournament team is what they would say?
Yeah.
Okay.
You pay to be on the team, but then you pay for eyeballs. Because there's if you have a good club team, then scouts know, this club team picks good kids.
Yeah.
They'll go watch the games. And,
Growing up, were you one of the most competitive on your team, or
Yes.
you kind of just played?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Huh. Yeah, kind of. So you played baseball a little bit. Were you ever in your mind I want to go play professional baseball, or kind of talk about that?
Yeah, I mean that was kind of a weird shift when I was growing up. That's kind of it.
Okay.
Baseball is I thought about going pro. Obviously, you always think you don't know if you'll ever actually be good enough for it because you're 12
Yeah,
or 15.
But
you can hope for it. I mean, I put 15 years into it. You hope to get something out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that aspirations for sure.
So you played baseball growing up all the way through high school and stuff like that. How old are you now, first off?
26.
26 years old. So you
8 years ago.
8 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so what year did you graduate?
16.
16. Okay, we graduated in 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you graduate high school. What's your plan then? Mission.
I wanted a mission instead of playing baseball.
Okay.
So that's what ended my baseball career.
Okay.
So that was 100% your choice for the mission.
Also.
We're not LDS, so it's kind of always a little bit newer. So when you turn 18, you have the option to go on it, and do some people just delay it till a little bit later?
Totally up to them.
It's kind of at your
it's
discretion.
up to them. Yeah, I mean, I had a buddy of mine who is actually pretty big into door-to-door. You know Cody Olive?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was in the missionary training center is where you go to start learning Chinese or whatever.
Learning your languages.
And he went to Singapore on his mission, and he was 24.
Oh,
he was older so I went to the MTC the same time as Cody Olive. I met him there.
Really?
And then so I like him, but no, you can go. I think the age limit is right about when you're 28. I mean, don't quote me on that. I think it's 28, and the church is kind of
Getting a little old.
you can't go anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's they would rather you go start a family or something.
Yeah.
Get on with your life.
That makes sense. So you made that decision to do your mission at 18, and then did you have ambitions to come back and do any kind of sports or anything like that, or just kind of next chapter of your life?
Honestly, I didn't have that much of a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my whole life, I'd always been the kind of guy where I wanted to be the best in whatever I was in. So super competitive. So I was always okay, I'm in baseball now.
Yeah.
and I would just get obsessed with baseball.
Yeah.
And then it was football season. I played football for like 7 years too.
Yeah.
Best at that.
Talk about like your mission. So you go, where was your mission? at?
Taiwan.
Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's a little island off China.
right, a little island off China. So, and how old were you when you were 18?
Yeah, it was 18 to 21.
18 to 21.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about that transition period, like how much you grew in that moment, right?
Oh, everything I have now is
From the
because
mission.
absolutely.
I think that's like a necessity.
Everything.
And I'm like, just like for me, I mean, college was our next step. It was buying us more time into where we can figure out
What you want
plan.
to do. Yeah.
And for me, I went one semester of college and then withdrew at the dropout date to go join the Army because I was like, well, college doesn't even look like it's my option, to be honest with you. I think it was because we just went to the high school of our college. You know, like everybody from high school went to the same college. So
It's just like the thing you do.
we didn't leave the culture. We didn't start anything new. We just kept following the pack. And so, you know, for me, going to the military it instilled discipline. It instilled like, you know, a standard for myself, accountability, integrity. Like I learned so much on that trip from being
That you
alone.
don't learn in high school.
Yeah, so I think that it's necessity for like people who have success is they have to take that risk and leave home, you know, leave everything you know. But I think it's impressive, you know. Did it take you long to get the language down?
Yeah, I mean, it's Chinese,
Yeah.
so it's rough.
How long was your MTC?
That was 9 weeks.
Oh, so you learned it in 9 weeks?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they
learned
send you
while
out
you're being
anyway.
there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just do your best for 9 weeks. It's more or less like you're doing mission stuff, but in Provo, Utah.
Yeah.
That's
Where there's not many
for 9
Taiwanese
weeks. So
people.
you get like the little bit of a vibe of being a missionary, like schedule-wise.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just to get accustomed to the schedule
Yeah.
and like having a companion with you at all times.
Yeah.
And then when you get sent out to the mission, it's not such a cold shower,
Right.
but it's still a cold shower. It's,
Yeah. I mean,
When you go to a place
like
like Taiwan, you can't prep.
no.
There's no pictures on Google that'll.
Was
I mean, that's what you do in the mission. You're like, oh, what does Taiwan look like?
Yeah.
And you're like, good. Nah.
Well, was that your first time ever being out of the country?
Yeah. It's my only time being out of the country before any of these trips.
Performance windows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. What was that like? So whenever you go on a mission, is that like they just kind of house you with somebody, or is it just random?
The church picks where you'll go and who you're with at certain times. So there's like a mission president,
Yeah.
which kind of like runs the mission.
Okay.
Simply put, it's like one guy, and he puts all the companions. You'll go out and he picks the area, and you'll proselyte in that area for however long he says.
Right.
With that person.
And you went the full 2 years?
Yeah.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you get back from the mission.
Yeah.
You still don't know what you're gonna do?
No idea.
No idea. And
Well,
you're living, and you're
I knew, like you guys. I mean, I just knew what people did.
right.
I knew I didn't want to waste time, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I didn't want to overcommit to a degree that I didn't believe in.
So you never went to school at all, like college at all?
No, I dropped out as a junior.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
went.
no,
You
I
went
got
for
to
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going for?
Computer engineering with a Chinese minor.
The Chinese mind.
Yeah, because there was a test you could take if you know Chinese to a certain level that just gives you all the credits.
Oh wow.
So I took a test and they just like, yeah, you got
Yeah.
a minor. I look nice.
Let's go. So you never graduated though?
No,
Yeah.
never
I
will.
didn't
Don't want to. I have an unclaimed associate's degree.
either. Yeah.
Like it's there. I've just never wanted it.
Technically, I'm like down that same exact path. I went to school for 5 years and had good grades all going through school, and I just never finished. Just literally got to the last.
No, I
semester
found
and
this. I found performance.
Yep.
And then I just stopped.
Yep.
And I mean, to be honest, I was never quite bought in. Well, I was never bought into anything.
Yeah.
Because like I did community college, because the college that I wanted to go to, that you're supposed to go to, you needed better grades, and my high school grades weren't the best. So I went to community college to get, and I had straight A's.
Yep.
And then that college accepted me, which is BYU, in Provo.
Yep.
So then I finally got accepted to BYU, and I went. And then that's where I met Matt.
Oh,
Was
okay.
in Provo.
And you were working at Home Depot in college?
Yes.
Through, yep.
Yeah,
that's where you-
part-time, and then COVID had hit. So it was like in the midst of COVID when I met Matt Monson at like a party,
Yeah.
like a game
What
night.
department did you work in at Home Depot?
Garden.
Water
Plants.
Water
Like
plant.
Didn't even talk to people.
Yeah, didn't even talk to people. Just
No,
took care
the
of
customers knew more than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the departments that if someone's going to buy flowers, like they already know.
They've already done their own research.
What
Yeah,
was your
I mean-
mindset? So going to Taiwan, experiencing like life, really getting out there, and then you come back home to go to Home
It's like a
Depot.
dream.
Yeah, it felt
like a dream.
Like you had woken up.
Like, yeah, like how, the best way I can explain it would be you go out and you have this amazing dream for 2 years where it's like, I met all these people, I did all these things, I learned a language. I mean, I had some crazy stories on my mission that are like, it would be too long for this. But I had a ton of crazy experiences and people that I met that changed my life up to that point that I had never had because I had never left Gilbert. I never even left Phoenix before, other than Utah. And then I get thrown across the world. And then I come back and my parents were in the same house. My buddy had the same job.
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
For them, time had passed. And for me, I had changed. So they just had a clock going, and I went and had this amazing thing, and I come back. You've probably had a dream before where it was like super vivid. And even right after you wake up, you like turn over to maybe tell your wife, and no matter, there's no words that could describe. What words could you use that would make the person you're telling picture exactly what you saw? Doesn't exist. They'll never quite get exactly what you saw. I mean, that's how a mission is. There's no matter what word I could do, I can't explain it enough because you weren't there.
That's true.
And so that's what it felt like. I got thrown back and it was rough. I came back like a man. I left a boy. I had to like do my own laundry. Like all the little stuff.
Did you move back in with parents when you came back?
Yeah, I came back home. And lived there, and then I didn't move out until I went to BYU up in Utah. That's when I moved out.
So of course, I can imagine the mindset going in and like being back at Home Depot. So talk about whenever Matt came along. How was that part?
Hold on, did you have like whenever you came back and you were like at Home Depot, right? You had to have some time to sit here and just like to think, like your life, how much your life has really changed. Did you have like something inside of you that was just eating you alive and like I had to have more? Like there's no way that this was the end of my journey?
Yes. But the way I would describe it for myself was more, I knew that I was high value and that I was destined for more. I had no idea what I was doing. So I had the grit, but not the knowledge. That's what I would. So I mean, that's the only reason I went 3 years in school in the first place, is because it took me 3 years to meet Matt. Legitimately. So I mean, I was just lost with him to that point. But absolutely, I was never sitting there being like, well, this is it. Because I mean, there's a story there. I was working I had Garden and then Met, and Met is just like you're the merchandising team. You like stock shelves. That's all it is. And I had this buddy of mine who conventionally you would associate as like, this is a friend of mine. I haven't talked to him since I left Home Depot. But at the time, because all my friends were in Arizona and I was in the Provo Home Depot, it was like the closest thing to a friend I had at the time.
Somebody who had
the same job as we're both sitting there stocking shelves. It's hard to not be friends with a guy. So I was sitting there, and he liked Call of Duty. He liked similar music to me. And it checked all the boxes. Of like what a friend would be, I guess, other than history, because I had just met him. But he's a cool dude. And he was going to BYU. He had a girl. I had a girl at the time. And it was so crazy because I had met Matt, and I can go over that later if you want, but I had met Matt and essentially started Performance, and I had like 2 sales my first week or something. So for me, it was life-changing because it was like $1,200 in commission, because back then it was $600 plus 1%. Rattled my world. More money than I'd ever seen before. I'd never seen 4 digits in my bank account, ever.
Talk about that. So how did you get recruited by Matt?
So I was dating a girl at the time, and he's married Andrea. You probably met Andrea. So she was working at Chick-fil-A. My girl was working at Chick-fil-A. And then they threw like a Chick-fil-A game night.
No way.
So I was a +1 at this like board game night.
And Matt was, he was just knocking or closing? What was he doing?
He had started knocking 3 weeks before me.
Okay, so he was still
He also
fresh.
had just started.
He
was like, last week I made $2,000, or I forgot what the number he said was. I was like, what? For $2,000? And
say less.
Say less. So I checked it out, and I mean, when I started, there was 8 people in the whole company.
Just the PG office at that time too, huh?
Just PG. Just PG.
So you've watched every office open? That's nuts.
I opened the first office out of Utah. With me and the other guy.
That's so crazy to think about. I think when I came in, we were at like 8 offices or something like that.
Now there's more offices now than people. when I started.
When you started.
Yeah, that's
total
crazy.
people.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And now we just had the company meeting. We had 200 people. It's cool to see.
Yeah. So when you first came into performance, right? Did you see immediate success, or was it something that you kind of just had to grow through?
I feel like I had one of the two stories that happens to everybody. It's either immediate success and you buy in, but then you slump for like 3 weeks, no matter how good you do right away, or you just start with the slump.
Yeah.
Or you just won't make money for like 2 to 3, and then you get paid fat on your like second week or third week. I had the first one.
Immediate success.
I had like 1 or 2 sales, made me think that I was God's gift to Windows. I had like, 2 sales? Oh, I'm the best person that ever done this.
Don't everybody think that.
Yeah, because it seemed easy, and you're like, oh, it's this. Oh, it's easy for me.
Yeah.
I'm different. And then I went off script and didn't get paid for 3 weeks, I think. So my first week, I had a sale or 2. I forgot if it was 1 or 2. And then I went 3 weeks with nothing. Then I ended the month with 5. So the last week I got 4.
Jesus.
But I mean, it took me 25 days to get on script.
And how long did it take you to qualify?
3 months. So that first month where I didn't, and then 1, 2, that was it.
And was recruiting ever a trouble for you?
No.
No,
I got paid more from recruiting than I did knocking when I first started.
Yeah.
So I had 6 recruits my first month, and they all got their 5th sale bonus in the same month.
Back to back.
It was funny, my knocking commission was like 5,
And then
it was 12 for the recruiting bonus.
That's what we literally preach, bro. If you just bring the recruits in, they pay for your rent.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's true, and it makes you want to do better too.
Yeah,
Because there's part of me that's like, oh, I brought them here. I don't want to do better than me.
And you got to be the example for them.
Yeah.
Especially when you get them across the country. I'm like, that's like, I can't.
There's a new
show
level.
them-
I've never done that before, but there's
Yeah.
a new level of pressure.
Like you have to show them success.
Yeah.
And you can't just let them figure it out because then that's on me.
And I think there's a tune there though. I had made like little to no money compared to like what you could make in the long term here up to that point, because I'd only worked here for 30 days.
Oh yeah.
And I still recruited 6 people. So I think a lot of people are way, I'm going to make my own and then start recruiting. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you don't need to.
think-
I recruited on Matt's numbers.
Really?
Straight up. I was like, they're like, have you made anything? I was like, oh no, I made anything, but I just started.
I approached it the other way of like, I need to figure out how to sell and then by me, but that's where Dylan came in. Dylan was like a recruit that fell in my lap.
Yeah.
And then me and Dylan learned together. But that was where, when we got to learn together.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I was like, I believe in this opportunity, and whether I made money or not doesn't change the opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity is what it is without me.
Anybody can make it. Yeah.
Anybody, yeah. I was like, I mean, I can just bring you in and let's both qualify at the same time.
That's one of the best things I love about getting all the different stories because like everybody comes in a different way. Heidi's one of the no success and then bang.
Yeah.
I was the no success for 3 weeks and then finally got a sale. And
then
the first
but then
sale
it never
canceled.
stopped probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From there, it
once
never
it
stopped.
clicks, you're good.
Yeah, I would say I've never really had like a bad slump. I remember I had like 5 no-goes in a row as a closer, but it was because of my yes or no line. I wasn't getting from confirmation. I was just pushing through it.
You were running CADs effectively?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, but I was closing them at first, and then they just stopped closing, and I'm like, what
Interesting.
happened?
Yeah, so you qualified your first, your
Second and third
month, right? And then you become a closer. You already had your recruit, so boom, you started closing
Right away.
Right
Yeah.
away. Talk about that transition period, because I feel like a bunch of people when they qualify as a closer, they think the job's finished,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
They think the job's finished.
It was the opposite for me.
Yeah, kind of talk. Yeah, kind of talk about that process because of just transitioning, going straight into closer.
How it worked for me was I was sitting in a car as a knocker with Matt, who was my recruiter, and he was closing. And he was in the process of doing where at the time would have been the revenue month, top revenue ever.
Yeah.
It was like 440, which back then was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he closed like 45 sales or something like that.
Yeah.
Average sales size
Smaller.
of 10.
Yeah, I remember it was
He
like
still did
8,000 deals
440.
and-
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I was sitting in just like a church parking lot in Utah, just after session or something. He had just bought this car in cash. It was like an $18,000 car. So
Right.
we were like, oh, because to us it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and back then, I don't know what shifted, but it's probably the size of the company. But just so you guys know, in the beginning, it was taboo to talk about what closers made.
Really?
Didn't do it.
That's crazy.
The opposite of now. Now we have Big Check Friday.
Now, yeah.
It's the opposite. But when I first started, it was taboo. You did not. It was not a thing. It was all about the knockers. Because
You
in
can see that
a new
mindset.
company, that's all you got to protect the core. And once the company gets big enough, then knockers effectively become there's more closers and it's
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, early on you did not. So he talked to me and he was like, dude, can I show you this? I was like, yeah, what? And I look up to Matt a lot.
Yeah.
And he pulled out his payments. And he showed me he made 10K, 12K, 10K, 14K. And it was like 4 weeks in a row where he made over 10. I was like, that was this month?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, dude. And at that moment, it was like a total perception shift. Because for me, I think everyone pictures their future self and their dream of like a certain way. House, car, wife, kids, like whatever that looks like for you.
Their own definition of success.
Whatever their own definition is. How old are you in that?
Say it again.
How old are you in that? So when I was a kid, I always grew up in that dream success. I was always in my 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
My future self was having that. And when I saw Matt have that, I was like, oh, I could be a lot younger.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I got younger in my dream.
Yeah.
And it pulled the future so much closer. And yeah, as soon as he showed me that, I qualified the next 2 months.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I got to do this now.
Chasing the potential.
Yeah, so when I qualified, to loop back to the question you asked, is like the reason I didn't just stop is because to me that was the beginning. That wasn't the end.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of closing was it.
And at that time, you still have your recruits, huh? Your recruits are still there,
Yeah.
and it was still the
I
same
was like the
platform?
last steps, and I did more than the first steps.
Right, because of your recruits. Right.
Yeah, the third of the office was setting for me.
Yeah.
And then it turns into that sprint. That's kind of like when I came in, it's always been, I just got to maximize in this position. Is the way that I've kind of looked at it. Then I became closer, I have to maximize in this position. Market owner, I have to maximize in this, like that's the way that I can't, what's the potential of earning? Because as a knocker, you see what the whole company, the top knocker makes for that month. You know, you see their revenue, you can figure out what they made somewhat. I used to always say, I just want to be the top paid person in that position.
Yes.
And that's what I was chasing, but it's similar perspective to what you're looking at, but they're very similar. Like, and that was the way that I've always looked at it. But whenever you saw that shift, if I can do it in a short period of time, it comes back to that saying of like, if you give
My
yourself
success, I got a lot younger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
If you give yourself 30 days to clean your bedroom, you'll clean your bedroom in 30 days. But if you tell yourself you got 30 minutes, you'll clean it in 30 minutes. It's just
If you got a girl coming over,
it could be a
you'll clean your
sprint.
room.
Yeah, natural sense of urgency.
Yeah, that's
Constantly want to get it done. So you come up to a closer, right? How long did it take you to get your self sets?
Less than a week.
Less than a week.
Yeah, 4 days, 5 days.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Boom, got them done. You start closing, and then what year was this? So it's 2025 now. 21. So
Summer.
This is about what?
May was my first closing month, so 2021 May.
Okay, so that was like right.
So March, February, March, April, I knocked, closing in May.
Okay, and this is like just over a year of the company being founded. April
just over a
2020,
year.
right? Yeah. Okay, so you go through that, and you're in the Pleasant Grove office, right? Not that many people. Kind of talk about, because me and him weren't here at that time. Kind of talk about like seeing it from the bottom up. You know how you're talking about like closers' paychecks were like hush hush, like you didn't tell people that. Kind of talk about the transition period, right? Of growing into where you're splitting into a Kaysville office, and then obviously opening up other ones outside of the state. Kind of talk about that mind process. Being in those shoes of being, I would say, like the first 10 people in the company.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say was when I first started, I was super focused on myself.
Yeah.
So honestly, I didn't even know that they were like even opening Kaysville until all the people left. I was like, hey, where'd they go?
Yeah.
And then they opened. They're like, oh, they don't work here. They work in Kaysville. And I was like, oh, cool, all right. So I was so focused on me, I didn't even know. Probably because there was not that many people to talk to.
Right.
So it's probably just Colin and Levi talking to each other.
When you came into Performance Windows, obviously, Matt showed you that, and then it like really clicked for you. Did you really see the scale of how big this could be, or was
I
there
knew
like a
it was
specific
more than
moment?
what I was making now.
Right.
That's all I knew.
Yeah.
It was more than $800 a month.
Right. Yeah.
Which was like that's all I wanted was more.
Yeah.
I would have taken 1,000.
Yeah.
$200. I mean, like, take it. I'll do anything. But yeah, no, I knew it hit me partially when I had my first sale, because that's only one sale, and it was like $750.
Yeah.
I think. Because 600 plus 15K at 1% is like 750.
Yeah.
So I was like, Because when you're broke, you see money as a unit of time, not a unit of dollars.
Yeah, hourly.
You see, it's like, oh, this shirt cost me 4 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you make $10 an hour and it's a $40 shirt, it's a 4-hour shirt.
Yeah.
It's not a $40 shirt, it's a 4-hour shirt.
Right.
Yeah, money is time.
So I was super broke.
Yeah.
So when I made $800 for easier math on a sale, I was like, oh, that's a month.
Right.
Literally.
I just made a month in a day.
That on a 5
I never saw it as dollars ever.
Yeah.
So super early on, it was all time for me.
Huh.
I was like, oh, okay, so one sale equals a month of time.
Right.
So if I get 8 sales in a month, I've earned 8 months
Boom.
of what I was used to making.
That's kind of how it worked for me. So on my first sale, it was I was in the airport, and literally I got the sale, and I was like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? I just made $1,500 to talk to somebody for 5 minutes.
Going from a 90-day conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Real estate, you got to carry that 90 to 180 days, right? You got to
Yeah.
build that relationship from a 5-minute conversation that I'll never have to talk to that person
Typically
again.
within a week turnaround, you
Right.
get paid.
Right. Literally next week, boom, $1,500.
Yeah.
Talk about so after you start closing and everything, you how did you end up in Phoenix?
I'm from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that phone call is funny. So I was not the first call
Yeah.
at all. I'm glad I got it, but I wasn't. There was a couple people ahead of me that said no.
Uh huh.
Because Kyle and Levi had asked certain people to, hey, do you want to go to Spokane?
Were you?
Spokane was the move.
Oh, interesting.
So that was always the plan.
Is that because that's where Jordan's from?
I don't know.
He's from Washington.
I think so. I mean, there was a poll there, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, they're like, that was the move. So they were calling looking for a closer to go with him.
okay.
And they were also opening Boise, which was going to be Matt. So Matt was already going to be the Boise market owner at that time.
And he recruited you, so there was probably a little pull there too, huh?
Well, no, they wanted me to go with Jordan to Spokane.
Oh, really?
So Levi called me and he was like, hey, do you want to go to Spokane? And I said no, because I got done with this nasty breakup. I lost like 50 pounds and I was like super depressed. And I was like, I need to be around people right now.
Yeah.
The last thing I could do is just be lonely.
Yeah.
And however, counteroffer. And Kyle and Levi are more, they can be sold more than you think they can.
I agree with that.
Yeah, well, they like good ideas, and I like that they trust their people. But yeah, I pitched it back. I said, how about this? I know that Matt doesn't have a closer yet. I'll go to Boise.
Yeah.
I said, if you talk to Matt and he'll take me to Boise, I'll go to Boise, because I do know you need a guy, and I want to say yes. I just don't want to say yes to Spokane.
Yeah.
Right.
And Levi was like, interesting. And he hung up the phone. I was like, cool. And then 20 minutes passed, and he gives me a call back. He said, hey, what was your timeline about like going to Phoenix? Because the whole idea is that Jordan would go there, he would go there, and I was going to be the first market owner in Phoenix.
Yeah.
That was the move.
Yeah.
Like, I go to Boise, help Boise grow, and then I go to Phoenix because I'm from there.
Right.
I want to end up there. He's like, when did you want to go? And I was like, I don't know, whatever you told me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said, and I said, you told me next year.
Yeah.
So my plan was next year. You're the boss, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have a plan. And then he was like, what about in 30 days?
That's how it goes a lot of
And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we're not going to Spokane anymore. You and Jordan are going to go up in Phoenix. And I was like, oh. And he said, just say yes. And I was like, yes. He's like, thanks. And he hung up. And then he hung up. And then, yeah, in 30 days we moved.
30 days.
That was
you
August.
moved.
Yeah, it was August. We opened in 21.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in Phoenix.
And then you ended up meeting Grace in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Coming back to Phoenix?
Yeah.
Did you know Grace before the
No.
move? Oh, so
I had already been closing for a year or two
all
before I
works
met
out.
Grace. Yeah. She was doing her student teaching in Mesa.
uh-huh.
So she's not from there either. She was
Really?
only there for 6 months. She was doing her student teaching in Mesa, and I happened to meet her.
Yeah. How did y'all meet?
Tinder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dating app. Yeah.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It was like the last date both of us were going to go on before we just gave up on
Yeah.
dating apps.
Yeah.
And we got married.
Dakota's met a few people on Tinder before.
Yeah. I dated
It
one-
works.
dated
I mean,
one
I know a
girl
lot of
that
friends of
does.
mine that met on dating apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny though. That's crazy though, but it's all meant to be.
Whenever you got to Phoenix, how like it was you and Jordan and how many people?
Three knockers.
3 knockers. So
No, one didn't start immediately, so
No, so-
two immediately.
So 2 knockers, and then y'all just built it up from there. What was y'all's primary thing? Organic recruiting, or were y'all just kind of?
I mean, I was the crux of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I recruited 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 8 to 10 in the first year.
Yeah.
First 6 months, probably 8 of those though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did,
A lot of them were
did the market
closers.
owner at the time, did he do a lot of recruiting or not so much?
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he got Eric Nance, who was also kind of through Kaleo.
Yeah.
And then Jordan, Brett too. Brett's technically Jordan.
Okay.
So yeah, he did, and those two both became market owners, so he got good people.
Right.
But Jordan's not from there, so he did what he could.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that was my roots.
Yeah.
We're
You
in the
knew
place where all
everybody.
my Facebook friends are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy.
What is?
Yeah, I had 4 in 30 days.
Yeah, as soon as you got there.
As soon as I got there, I had like 4 or 5.
And talk about, so in the position that you're in now, I know we can kind of fast track, right? Eventually you took over the market, what was that, June of last year? Or the year before that?
7/15
Yeah,
was the day.
yeah, so, and that would have been
And
2023?
then 7/31 was my first install.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been
Took 2 weeks to.
2023, right? Yeah, because 2024 was
Yes.
last year.
Yeah,
So
yep,
2023.
That's right.
Kind of talk about on your recruiting approach. Do you feel like it's harder to recruit in the position that you're in now than what you were whenever y'all went there to open up the branch in Phoenix?
Yes, but not because of the position. I think because time has passed
Right?
and I've
I think
recruited
that's
all
the
the people already.
hardest
Yeah.
We were talking about the other day, we've tapped our downline, like as far as like our inner circles.
Every time I re-sift through it, it's everyone I've already talked to. I'll find one more person that I didn't talk to last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're a heavy recruiter, you'll talk to everyone you know. And
Everybody.
Right.
My mom's
2
sending me
years,
people.
I think 2 years or so, you get to at bat with everyone.
Yeah.
Then you got to start going to strangers
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, I mean, the guy I got in the office right now is the guy that hung my freaking Christmas lights.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the kid installing the lights. I said, don't do this, dude.
Yeah. Did they knock doors?
He's on my team right now, yeah.
And he like threw
Yeah,
Christmas
right.
lights though?
Yes.
No way.
Oh, no, he wasn't knocking. He was the install.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not even the sales guy.
Dang.
I just paid for a company to come put my lights up. He was one of the kids, like, stringing the lights
Talk
up.
about that. How did that happen? Talk about that story.
That's pretty much it. I had a permanent lighting company come over, and I bought same day. The salesmen buy things.
Yeah.
We're the best buyers. That's what people don't
100%.
understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will always, like I bought for a
I love door-to-door stuff. Yeah.
Changing a girl's life in Africa or something. She knocked on my door and they were like, this is Plan International. And I'm like, come inside, come talk to me.
Yeah.
And I ended up giving her a pitch.
Yeah.
You know, but I still bought out of principle.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, a lot of the best deals you can get are door-to-door.
Oh yeah.
I think.
100%.
Yeah. Now, it used to not be the case. There is a bad rap for a reason, but I think it's like most of those are gone.
Yeah.
Most of them are solar companies now.
Yep.
But yeah, as long as it's not solar, I think you're good.
So did this kid just randomly come up to you and say, hey, you know?
Yeah, he was installing on my house, and my house is nice.
Yeah.
And he was like, how old are you? And I was like, 26. He's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is, I have a different opinion on material possessions than maybe Matt Monson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt Monson's a frugal guy,
He is very.
and love him to death. But he'll just wring that washcloth of every drop.
Yeah.
And if he misses any, it's like missed opportunity.
Yep.
Where I think I've just had different opportunity. So he's ahead of me in the investing game by
A lot.
lots of thousands of dollars, but not that I have zero. I have investments.
Right.
He's dedicated a lot more because I have a house. I just got the Porsche and the stuff like that. But I think I have returns in different ways. I've had a lot of people that I've been able to invite to my place, and like this kid. I mean, even if he becomes a closer, how much money did I make
Yeah.
buying the house that he installed the lights on?
100%. I think about
Did
it
it pay for the lights?
the same perspective.
Probably.
We talk about it as like
Yeah.
you gotta spend that money.
Yep.
You gotta spend it, and sometimes on your people. You gotta spend it on your people, and that's the investment that's gonna have a way faster return
Yeah.
than going through rental.
Yeah, you did.
know,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
I mean, I could have bought 10 houses a long time ago. I could have afforded a Porsche my second year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My second year closing. I could have been super irresponsible and bought a supercar as a closer. I would never do that. You should never buy a supercar as a closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could have. I was doing market owner numbers as a closer.
Yeah.
60.
Yep.
On the new pay scale, I would have done 81.
I know.
On
Thinking
a
about
certain
the new
month.
pay scales is crazy.
I had 0% of my closing career had the new one.
You know how many pay raises that you've seen since you've been here?
Pay raises?
Yeah, 'cause-
One.
No, more than that. 3
Or
since
2.
I've been here. Because it was a
Commission?
6, 7. Yeah, it was 6, 7.
Oh, you mean
8.
all those little changes?
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like a
It
bunch
was
of
600 plus 1, and then 6, 7, 8, and then 6, 9, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Three pay raises since, and those were relatively all quick, all back to back within.
Yeah, I
the
had
2
all
years.
those. I never had the 7, 9.
Yeah.
Never. The month I became market owners, the month they changed it.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what a joke.
Tell me this.
About right.
I was like, that sounds about right. Couldn't afford it before. I was selling too much. Oh, Jake's promoted?
Yeah. No more big revenue.
Yeah.
Talk about this. What do you think? What do you think separates somebody who comes in the company and does not see success and somebody that does come into the company and sees immediate success?
It's probably like 2 things. It's like teachability. So the ability to forget everything you know.
Yeah.
And just no matter how much you think you know, just kind of forget about it. And it would be this weird abstract, their own self-worth. I think a lot of people don't do well because they don't think they're worth it.
That's true. I feel like those are spot on.
Yeah.
Like it's imposter syndrome, effectively. So they found the opportunity that is like it is for all of us, and they come in and see us doing it. But for some reason, we all saw this opportunity, like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were like, pounce. But people will come in and they like to sit in the room
Feel like they're
and
doing
watch
something.
others do it nearby.
Yeah.
Just to be in the
But
room.
they can't do it because of who they are. They can't do it. It's not for them.
Holding themselves back.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of it. And then it's the pouncers
Yeah.
that make money fast because they're like, I may not even be that good at it, but I can try.
It's true. They got to be humble enough to be willing to learn. You know?
Humble enough to learn, but ambitious enough.
Yeah.
to
It's
work.
a balance of to be that top 1%.
Because if you don't have the ambition,
Yeah.
you'll operate on, okay. If you don't have the ambition, you'll operate on motivation. And motivation's inconsistent.
100%.
Where
Even
ambition is
closers.
constant. I could be depressed but ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, I get DMs all the time of like on LinkedIn of like people who just saw that I got a golden door or something. They'll be like, hey man, I see you're doing really well. How do you stay motivated? I've had that before.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm having a hard time. I just started. Seems like you're doing well. Heard you didn't start out in door to door, so I was kind of going to ask you, how do you stay motivated? How did you sell for so long at such a high level?
Yeah.
Like, how'd you keep that excitement? That's the question. How'd you keep that excitement?
Yeah.
You know what my answer was?
What?
I said I didn't.
Yeah. It's not on excitement.
I didn't operate on excitement. And so, no, I was not wanting to do it plenty of days.
Yeah.
There's plenty of days I didn't want to.
For you, is
Probably
that,
more often than not. I was
is
like, I don't
that
want to do this.
just a mental like strength that you have as far as, because for me, I think about my perspective. For me, I hold myself accountable when I hold myself accountable outside of work,
Yes.
like diet.
It's who you are. It's not a
Yeah.
choice. You can't choose it.
And the way you do one thing is the way,
You do
all.
everything. Yeah.
So is that kind of, so do you find the same
Yeah,
thing?
the guys
It's
who
like
don't brush their teeth are also the ones that don't knock.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Or
you
not
agree with that
quietly.
It's more of an outside of work discipline type thing.
It's character.
It's character.
Yeah, it's character.
Integrity. And when nobody's looking, that you're still going to be doing the
Do
right
you
thing.
do you study?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started knocking, it's underrated. I no hyperbole probably did 6 to 8 hours a day of study because I came from no sales.
Yep.
I had 0 sales experience. So that anything that we learn now where it's like feature benefit. I mean, I'm sure you guys know feature benefit. That's like a pattern you read in a book 100 times.
Yep.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
All the super basic sales stuff I didn't know
Yep.
because you got to learn you have to learn everything for the first time at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was going 6 to 8 hours. As soon as Matt said how much you made, I was like, how much am I making an hour?
You
By
do
just
have to be
studying.
so coachable too,
Yeah.
because for me, the only skill I had coming into this was serving tables and bartending. I could win you over, but that's why I had 18 appointments run before my first close.
None
I could
run.
I could set an appointment easy. I could
Closing.
set an appointment with
The
anybody.
higher ticket is different. Yeah.
But to close the deal, it has to be done a certain way, and it took me 3 weeks to learn that. You know, so that's so crazy
Yeah.
to think about.
The higher the ticket, the less rapport is necessary.
100%.
Yeah.
You're selling the quality.
Yeah.
Selling
It's
the,
actually,
the value.
I'm of the opinion that the higher the ticket, the less rapport should be used. Not
should be
needs to be
about.
should.
Yeah.
You should not use rapport If it's like $100 million thing, no one's spending $100 million
Because
on
they
a-
like you.
With their friends.
Yeah.
No, it's like, does this make sense?
Yeah.
And if it does make sense, they'll buy it. That's it.
100%.
You just have to make it make sense.
Yeah.
And then typically the emotion of their heat, their windows, their pain points will be enough. You don't need to amplify it for them.
Yeah.
And you can inflate.
Yeah.
Oh, my back room's hot. Okay.
But most homeowners, they'll drop those things on their own. You know, and it's you. You can
Yeah,
agree with
if you lead it, if you connect the dots for them, then it's not their idea.
them. Yeah. Now, for
Them buying's got to be their idea.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think you would do well in any market of sales now that you've had this experience through performance window?
I'll never make less than 40 grand a month ever for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Now that
Even
we've learned-
if performance went out of business tomorrow,
No.
I would just go sell something. I'd probably take a pay cut,
Yeah. The
but
first couple
but
months.
I'd live.
Yeah, and we
and
get
do
back
well.
to it now that we know it's the skill set and like the training, being able to teach what we learned.
The skill is more important than the money.
Yeah.
The skill, it persists. I'll always have the skill, but I won't always have the money.
Right.
If you have to spend money to invest it, you have to get rid of it. Money you're always trying to get rid of. Skill is the reason to get more.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, skill is way more important than money.
So we always talk about it too. It's like for us, it's like a 10-year goal, like 10 years that we're trying to put into it. When I first came in, I was like 3 to 5, you know, and then that's slowly getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. Would you say you've had like the same experience? Do you tell yourself you're going to give this much time, or are you just riding it out?
Last job.
Last job ever.
I always knew.
When I got into it,
I've never thought I wouldn't do this,
really. Yeah.
but I'm loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm it's bad.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I even tell my she would laugh if she was here, but I tell her all the time, as jokingly, I'm always like, I don't really care if you love me,
Yeah.
because men don't need love to feel loved,
No.
which is funny.
Yeah.
We need respect, and I care that she trusts me more than loves me.
Yeah.
Trust is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the
It makes
number
a
one.
whole lot easier.
That's it. Because you'll hate me some days, but you can hate me and trust me still and know that I have your back. That's more important than loving me.
Yeah.
High school kids love each other.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Nope.
What foundation is that built on? So love isn't an inherently good foundation, but trust is invaluable. Very, very important.
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about our company is because I've always said that Levi and Kyle, it's always been black and white. Of anything that's ever been told or promised or anything like that, it's like,
I like to dance with the people that taught me how to dance. So I'm superstitious, I'm religious, so I'm LDS, and I think a lot of people are disrespectful to the sense where it's like, do I believe that I'm worth what Levi's making, Kyle's making? I was like, absolutely. I think there's something that I could do and build.
100%.
But, and maybe that'll be at a next chapter of my life or something. But I need performance to help me build that to that point.
100%.
I don't know, man. Oh, here's a good example of what I'm trying to say. So I was in a business class at a community college. It was like business. That was the name of the class.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. But as a college kid, I was like, cool, whatever. Business 101, it was just like an open class. And they had us do an assignment where the assignment was, it was like a math problem. It was stupid. It was like a 100 class, right?
Yeah.
But the question was, how much money is Chick-fil-A losing not being open on Sundays? Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
you'd
that
have
does
to
make
like
sense.
calculate the days off and then like their average revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I said? I turned in the assignment.
That they're not losing money.
I said they make less.
Yeah.
I think if they open on Sundays, they make less money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can think of religious reasons that are my own opinion about why I think they lose money. And I could put forth some non-religious ones. I think they have a brand that if they went against their brand and were like, hey, we're open Sundays now, people are like,
It would hurt them.
yeah, they'd
People
lose.
want it when they miss it on Sunday.
Because who are they crossing if they open on Sundays?
The religion, you know, all
Themselves.
Yeah.
They cross themselves because they're like, forever we've had this Sunday line.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the company's like, we'll open Sundays now. I mean, it's like a customer asking, is that all you can, is that the lowest you can go?
Yeah.
Well, no, we can lower it again.
Exactly.
There you go.
No, you just lost,
Yeah.
you've shown your true colors now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think for the same reason, I think if I left for what on paper would make me more money per month, technically, than what I'm, which would be very hard to do, by the way, than what I'm making now in performance. Maybe because I own it or something like that. I think over the course of my 70 years on this earth, I think that path would make me more in the short term, but less in the long term.
Right.
I think I'd be rewarded
Sticking it out here.
sticking it out because I think that's the right thing to do. I think that's what's right. I think that if I stay here, I'm right with God.
Yeah, we have a purpose here. There's a reason all this happened.
And it's not from a sense of I see Kyle and Levi as God, because I don't.
Yeah, this
But
is the opportunity that God gave us.
it's gratitude. That's all it's just gratitude. It's like I'm grateful for what they did. I would never scorn it because that's bad juju in my opinion. You don't touch that. I wouldn't touch that kind of superstition with a 10-foot pole.
100%.
And we got the systems here, bro. We ain't even got to, all we got to do is just replicate it. It makes it super easy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going nowhere. I can tell you, I'm gonna be here to the day I die.
It keeps on growing.
Now
it's like I've looked at it as like just sprint to the top. As once we get to the top, then it's just we help growth. That's our biggest mission. It's like we know how to sell and we can teach anybody to sell. But now we focus on growth, and we just focus on growth, and we help to get the company everywhere everywhere. We're going to.
Oh yeah.
We're on the right track. I'm excited for it.
Gonna happen like that. We just gotta get there. So, you got any last words you want to say before you go? I know one thing, just hearing, at the company conference and stuff like that, just you as a leader, like one thing you were talking about a second ago is trust, right? You can tell just from talking to the people that have worked up under you on how much trust they have for you, right? They trust you with they trust you with everything, with their lives in a sense, you know what I mean? And
it kind of is, that's a good point.
It goes a long ways because people, they've said it all the time, is it's being the person you want to be led by, you are that leader.
How it works is that when there's 10 people that come into your office, you'll have 5 that you care more about their success than they do. You know what I mean? You want it more than they do, for them. And it's not because they make me money. No, I literally want them to
win.
Do the same performance that I did. I was an awkward before. I was the broke kid. I was like, I got to make this work, so I sympathize. And then there's the 5 who that feeling that you have towards them, they feel, and it becomes contagious. So then what actually happens is that when you're that kind of trustworthy leader, you can rip them apart.
100%.
You can be more brutal.
I always say that
because
if I can do everything to you to make you quit, but you'll never quit. Like that, there's nothing I could say or do to Dakota, and he would quit. And that's how your office should be ran.
Unless you lack the trust part, then it just becomes brutality. And tyranny. Where people they cannot operate in your office based on fear. They have to operate based on that ambition of more. And the reason you're harping on them isn't because they're not doing what you're saying. Like that's super superficial. Oh, he didn't do what I said, I'm gonna get mad. That's not it. It's you're falling so far below what you could actually be doing here. It hurts me to watch. Like imagine watching these guys that are broke in your office literally burn money. Imagine watching them do it. Or even if do you guys have a knocker that like you've had one where they like had terrible spending habits?
Spending?
And it's like they're the reason for their own stress. And it's like, stop spending money. That frustration, it's a similar frustration I feel when I see knockers not do the job. Because part of me is like, if you just did it, you wouldn't worry for money.
Just focus on the process.
If I was you, I would be able to get rid of your life's problems. But I'm not you.
So you need to listen to me.
I know how to fix your life's problems. Not all of them, but at least the ones relating to the job and financial stuff.
I always feel
and they don't even do those.
I'm telling people like I'm a problem solver. Give me the problem and I'll solve it. Like I can give you a really good.
Being married to guys like us is super fun.
They just gotta learn to listen. If they learn to listen, it'll be okay. It works out.
But
well, good deal, bro. You got any last things you want to say?
I don't think so.
You good?
My number one thing has just always been don't run on motivation.
Don't run on motivation. Don't.
Find your reason why. Chase that.
Yeah, and then the pain doesn't matter. I think pain is a requisite for success. The last thing I'll say is I'll give credit to my parents.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I'll do. I'll give credit where credit is due. Because I'm an only child. So everything I know is, I didn't have an older brother that taught me anything. It's just from my parents. And my parents both were very good parents. And they were both very good at teaching me probably the most important lesson I've learned in my whole life. It is the only reason I am where I am today. One lesson.
What is that?
That just because you're going through a trial doesn't mean something's wrong.
It means it's
Just
not to get
because life is hard doesn't mean you're doing something bad.
easy. Yeah.
It's the idea where sometimes it just is hard,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's having a positive relationship with stress.
Yeah. That's a great
So
thing.
when stress comes, I'm not in panic mode. I'm like, I like this because stress brings growth and revenue. I get the most stress when there's not stress. I'm stressed out here. I don't.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm stressed here when I don't have my team immediately next to me. Because I'm not feeling pressure right now.
The lack of
I don't like
pressure
it.
sucks.
I'm actually a huge vacation guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the last trip, we were 3 days in. We were looking at flights.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if we just went home early?
So yeah, have a positive relationship with stress. Go at it instead of running away from it.
Yeah.
Choose hard.
Choose hard. That's
right.
It's all hard.
Yeah.
It's all risky.
Yeah.
There's nothing not risky.
No risk.
We
no
flew here.
reward.
Yeah,
That was risky.
that's risky.
Well, cool deal. Well, hey, bro, we
Instagram
appreciate you coming
handle.
on. I
Thank
got a
you.
lot of respect for you. I know he does as well.
What's your Instagram?
Yeah.
We'll get the shout out.
At Jake.T.Richards.
Jake T. Richards.
Yeah.
Jake.T. Richards. Yeah, and they'll get you collaborated and everything. It'll be pretty cool.
Thank you.
So, hey, thank you all for watching Discipline, Desire, and Dedication. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below and make sure to give Jake a follow. But in the meantime, we'll catch you next time.